Live from the SMTV studio, it's Sabre Decision 2018. Live election coverage of the South Meck student government elections.
Good afternoon, Sabres. I'm Eli Newman, alongside Garrett Elder for SMTV's live student government coverage.
We'll be covering all student government elections, including sophomore, junior, senior, and executive class councils. All of the results for the races will be announced towards the end of our broadcast, so be sure to stay tuned.
Let's talk a little bit about what these different elections mean.
Well, I'll tell you, I had the chance to interview Mr. Creech, a South Meck student government advisor. He said that student government is a chance for students at this school to influence in small ways and in sometimes big ways, the way that the school is run. Mr. Creech's goal is to make student government exactly what students want it to be. We want to be sure that we can impact a change, he said.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and move into our first group of interviews. We have joining with us Jackson Fucci, who had the opportunity of interviewing the sophomore council candidates. How you doing, Jackson?
Very well.
So Jackson, tell us a little bit about the candidates you had the chance to interview.
Well, I got to interview 4 amazing candidates. Gabby, for one, you could tell she cares very much about the school and the students that go here. Luke, I know he has the passion to make South Meck what it needs to be. Tucker, when I first met Tucker, I was shocked to find out that he was a freshman. You know, he has the maturity, I thought he was a sophomore, and he has the leadership skills that will make him a great candidate. Lastly, Brandon, win or lose, I know he's going to be a star. This guy's awesome. When I first met him, nothing but greatness from him.
Now tell us a little bit about your chance to interview Mr. Kelly.
Well, Mr. Kelly, when I interviewed him, he told me what student council was. He told me that it's the go-between between administration, the faculty, and the students. He said the students' role was to let other students what's going on in the school and also answer any questions they had. He also said, I've been here 20 plus years, and every year, you know, there's a student complaining about something. And he said, I always wish they would go into student council, because then they can have their complaint heard.
Yeah, it sounds like the sophomore council has a big impact, and seems like we're in good hands. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at those interviews. Here are the sophomore council candidates.
Tucker is a student that cares about his school and classmates. I asked him what his goals were and how they related to South.
I want to go to college, and I think I can get my education here.
Tucker has a strong, relatable voice that conveys his message across the South Meck audience. He also is a hard worker with high grades and a laser focus. When asked his favorite thing about South Meck, he said,
the people.
Tucker wants his legacy to be, I leave it better than I came. Gabby is this year's freshman council president. When asked what she accomplished as freshman president, she said,
as a part of freshman council, we were kind of separate from the rest of the school, so I'm hoping as a part of sophomore council we can get more involved and help out with the rest of the school.
Peace and safety is very important to Gabby. Here's how she plans to improve it.
Well, right now I'm a part of this club called Conflict Resolution Program, and it's basically to help prevent people from fighting things out, and we're trying to help people talk things out.
Gabby has the tools to make a difference next year and many years to come. What do you want your South Meck legacy to be?
I hope my legacy is my dedication and hard work that I've put in. I think it's important to be confident in yourself.
Luke is focused on bringing positive change and improvements to South, and he, like his peers, is focused on success.
Well, I want to make sure that everyone's successful. I want to make sure that I'm successful, so I think that those relate, making sure that everyone does well.
Sophomore Council is a big platform that he will use to achieve his goals along with South's goals.
I just want to make sure that I get everything out of this experience and can be the best person that I can be.
What does Luke like about South Meck?
I think the community and the environment around South Meck is what I like so much about it.
Brandon has the skills to be a leader. Here's what inspired him to run.
What inspired me to run for sophomore council is that I wanted to have a leadership role in this community and use my skills and knowledge to help students communicate with administration and help be a leader. And student government helps me do that.
What things make Brandon like coming to school every day?
My favorite thing about South Meck is the amazing diversity that we have, all the different people that I can meet with different skill sets and different talents.
How will Sophomore Council help Brandon and his peers?
So I want to be a successful student. I want to, help be a leader, and all of those relate to South Mech, especially with student government, is because student government is a group of successful students.
And thank you so much, Jackson, for those interviews. We're so excited to see what those, how that election will turn out later on.
Thank you for having me.
I know people have been talking ill about freshmen lately, but I really feel like with these candidates, it could turn around for sure.
I believe we'll be in good hands. The sophomore class is going to look great next year. Now, next up, we have Cleveland Singleton, who is our junior class correspondent. We're excited to welcome him. Cleveland, welcome.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the junior candidates?
Yes, this pool of candidates is so unique and so special. They're so excited for next year. I had a great time interviewing them. It's going to be a tight race to the finish, and I'm betting all my money on Noah Barnett.
Well, Noah's aging out next year, but tell us a little bit about the kids that are running this year. How about David Brown?
David Brown, he's the football player. He had a really strong focus on safety here at school, super driven. He's one of the newer candidates, as Kayla Stevenson is. She plays softball. She is also focused on communication between the teachers and the students, and that was a common theme throughout my interviews. Allison Dobbins also had communication was very important to her, and she was fantastic in the musical a couple months ago as Motormouth Maybelle. Diversity was also very important throughout my interviews. We also have two incumbent members, Kayla Webb, who is the current sophomore president. She's so kind-hearted, and Jay Lockhart, she is also not new to the world of student government. She's super opinionated, and that's the reason why she said that she joined student government.
Now, of all the incumbent council members, do you feel their previous experiences helped them become better candidates?
I definitely feel like they could definitely pull some of those leadership skills that they learned in sophomore council to junior council. And I also feel like the new members can also use some of their past experiences in their roles as junior council members if they are elected.
Now, we understand you got to ask a rather interesting question. Talk to us about that one.
I asked every single one of my interviewees if they could pie one person in the face, who would it be? They all gave really funny answers, ranging from siblings to other candidates to celebrities. David Brown actually gave a really funny answer. He said Kevin Hart because he feels like he would give the most entertaining response.
Well, as long as my name wasn't mentioned, that sounds like a great question to ask. Now, we'll move on to Cleveland's video interviews.
I sat with Maya Crawford, who is interested in running for junior council next year and currently cheers for South Mech.
I really love the people here at South, and I would love to get to know them better and be able to represent them.
When asked what qualities make her stand out from her competition, Amaya answered,
I feel like I'm a very determined and hardworking person who will fight for anything that I believe is right and for my friends and everyone in the school.
Diversity is what Amaya cites as the most important thing about South Mech. She loves to get to know more about different cultures here at our school, and she thinks that we should all embrace that every day, end quote. I also sat with Jay Lockhart, who is currently a sophomore council member and is interested in running for junior council.
I will try to reach out to different outlets, different clubs, different types of people that we don't really see or talk to that often.
When asked what she thought the biggest issue at South Mech was, she says communication.
I want more communication between, students and administrators or teachers because there seems to be a lack of it.
And how would you go about doing that?
I don't know. There needs to be some kind of way where students can be able to talk to their teachers or administrators to share how they feel.
What pushed Jay Lockhart to run for junior council? She wanted to make her voice heard.
I had so many opinions that I want to share, and I figured I needed a place to share those, and so student council was my answer.
Kayla Webb, current sophomore president and cheerleader, is also running for junior council.
What keeps me motivated is knowing that if I work hard to do something, I know that I will succeed in the end.
When asked what exactly makes her stand out from her opponents, Kayla answered,
Well, I'm patient, I'm determined, and I know what I want.
There are such a wide variety of people at South Mech. How will you cater to everyone's needs?
I will try to listen to what they have to say, because what they have to say is very important to the student body.
Kayla says that she's open to hear what everyone has to say, but what exactly moved her to run again?
Well, I was my sophomore president, like this sophomore year, and I enjoyed it very much. I felt like I had a lot of leadership, which I liked, so maybe I can do that junior year as well.
David Brown is, quote, new to the rank and ready to jump in, end quote. He currently plays football for South Meck and is a candidate for junior council.
I play football for South Meck, and I've been described many times as a leader on the field. And I thought if I could translate some of that to the school setting, that it would be a big improvement on South Meck as a whole.
When asked how he would cater to everyone's needs and wants, David says,
I've been in many different situations, so I know a lot of different people. I believe I could get in a different perspective, more unbiased, because I've been around people with different cultures, genders, races, all together. I believe I'm unbiased, and I believe that I would go off of logic and reasoning.
Well, what makes David Brown special? Here's what he had to say.
I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to people. I try to see the better side, and I try not to judge.
I then sat with Kayla Severson, who is a candidate for junior council. Let's hear a little bit about who she is.
Well, I'm on the JV softball team this year. I'm in YBLA outside of school, and I like to spend time with my sister because me and her are really close.
How will Kayla make sure that everyone's voice is heard if she were to be elected? She said,
I won't focus on just one group of people to, see what they need. I'll ask everyone because I wouldn't say I have, one specific group of friends. I'm I'm a floater.
What does Kayla see as the most important or special thing about South Meck?
No other schools like us. We're so big and we're so diverse. You go to other schools and you see they're predominantly one race, where here we're so mixed, and it's different with a cultural fair. You get to see all of that.
I then sat with Allison Dobbins. What past experiences make her more qualified?
Well, like I said, this is my first year, but I am very close with different friend groups and different types of people. So I know diversity, and so I can tell you what different people are wanting for the school. So I think that gives me good experience.
What traits differentiate Allison from the rest of the candidates? Allison says her personality.
I'm very outgoing. I'm very enthusiastic. I have joy that is always with me. So I think that makes me a great candidate because I can talk to anyone.
I asked Allison who or what motivates her. Her answer was very unique.
I have to say myself, I honestly, when I'm doing my homework, there's sometimes where I'm just bro, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm just you gotta do it, you have a test tomorrow, so I honestly would say myself.
Well, Cleveland, aside from the pie in the face question, those were very insightful questions and answers from those candidates.
Yes, and they do all so good.
Can you tell us a little bit about Maya Crawford, though? I saw her in the video, but can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, Maya, she was so ambitious. She speaks Spanish, and she's a cheerleader here at South. And she wants to get more involved with the students. That's what she was really focused on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interviews, and thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll be right back from a short commercial break, and then we'll have the senior and executive class interviews.
devastated by a war fought on a scale never before seen in human history. The countries who won that war promptly formed an intergovernmental organization to mediate disputes and solve world problems. Today, students across the world simulate that organization in collaborative conferences. If you're interested in world events, if you want to learn more about your place in the world, and if you can find them, maybe you can join Model Win.
Student government election coverage. For those of you just now tuning in, I'm Eli Newman, here with Garrett Elder, and we've had a great group of candidates here so far, haven't we?
I agree. I'm very excited to see what both the sophomore class and the junior class is able to do with the elections. By the way, the results will be coming in about 2 o'clock, so be sure to stay tuned in until then. Next up, we have Hadley Shields, who is coming with the senior class correspondence, and she is here with us now. Welcome, Hadley.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the candidates you had the chance to interview.
I got to interview 4 amazing candidates, all with such great personalities and amazing ideas for next year.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about Madison Trappier? I know you just
Yes. This is her first year running for student council, and she wanted her senior year to be just a great year, and she really wanted to be a part of South Meck. And this is also Madison Campbell's first year, and she's a cheerleader. She has just such amazing Sabre spirit. She's amazing.
We're excited to hear about both of those later on in your interviews. We have Ashley Elam, too. Talk to us about her.
Yes, her favorite color is pink, and she's very enthusiastic about that. But when I asked her what she hoped the students would remember about her as they had to vote, she said that she's a lover, not a fighter.
Very important. And then what about Essence Pauling?
This is not her first year running, but she really wanted everyone to be heard, especially those whose voices aren't usually heard. And Ashley Elam also said that everyone running is they're such great leaders, and no matter who wins the election, the teamwork with this group of people is just amazing, and everyone works so well together.
Now, we understand that when you asked these interview questions, you had the similar answers from each of them. What were those answers?
I asked everybody that I interviewed what their favorite thing about South was, and they said that they loved the diversity and the people that they could meet here, and everyone can just find a place to fit in.
Okay, well, it seems like diversity and teamwork and school spirit is definitely common here in these senior elections. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the senior council candidates.
I talked with Madison Campbell about her campaign. I asked her what she hoped the students would remember most about her.
I care a lot about, Sabre spirit. And, I will try my hardest, or my best, rather, to make this school the best.
I asked Madison what she thought were some of the best things about South. Her answer?
I would say the best things about South is that it's very diverse, and you can always find a place where you can fit in and feel welcome.
I then asked her what she admired most in those running against her, and she said that she admired that they had the courage to run for student council beforehand. I interviewed with Ashley Elam to get some insight on her and her campaign. I asked her why she wanted to run.
I've been on student council both sophomore and junior year, and it's kind of been a tradition in my family, so here I am.
I asked Ashley what she was most proud of about her service here at South.
Student council, we have really great team effort, so all of our projects that we collaborate even with other clubs on, they all turn out phenomenal, even if students think it's lame. It's awesome.
Ashley believes the best thing about South is our diversity. I talked with Essence Pauling to get to know her a little better. I first asked her why she decided to run.
And what made you decide to run? I decided to run because I was on junior council and I just enjoy the feeling that I have in there. I like being involved in school and be able to have a say for the kids that don't normally get to have a say in things that we do around here.
I asked Essence what she thought were some of the best things about South Meck.
I think our school is very diverse and it has lots of unity in it and we all stick together.
I was wondering what she hoped the students would remember most about her as they had to vote. Her answer?
I hope they remember that I am not here to hurt anyone. I'm just here to make their voice be heard. I hope that people will actually vote for me because I want them to be heard and I want things that they want to happen to actually happen.
I interviewed Madison Trappier. I asked her what she hoped the students would remember most about her.
When you're most comfortable in an environment, like you'll grow the best, really. And I feel like high school is really a growing experience.
I asked Madison why she wanted to run for student council. Her answer?
I really wanted it to be one of the best years, if not the best year at South Meck. And I'm sure like a lot of other students, like a lot of my peers would want the same thing. So I feel like I would be good for looking out for that.
I was wondering what she thought were some of the best things about South.
Probably diversity. I think that's really big at South Meck. It's just how diverse it is and how many things that you can really get into. So yeah, I think that's really special about the school. It's just how many different people that you can meet here.
Well, Hadley, thank you so much for those interview questions there. Those were very insightful and very interesting answers. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
I've been incredibly impressed by these candidates so far, especially the sophomore council. They definitely seem very, very mature.
I'm very interested to see what how the election results will pan out. Now, next up, we have the executive council correspondent here with us, who is also the student body president, Noah Barnett. Welcome, Noah.
Thank you, guys.
Now, tell us a little bit about the executive council candidates.
I've been lucky enough to be able to interview all 5 candidates, and I am very excited to see their promising abilities come true in next year. Although Joy Holly is running unopposed, I know she has the determination to work to be on student council, and I know that she'll be a good asset to the team next year. For vice president, Ashley Hand and Sydney Greason, I've both had the pleasure of working with last year, and both of them were very integral to all of the events that student government had, and I know that they are going to bring those qualities into next year. And lastly, for the student body president, whenever I think of a leader at South Meck, I envision Malik Hart and Brooke Everson. Both of them are exceptional students, exceptional leaders, and exceptional workers that will do great things next year.
So you feel that Malik and Brooke are both very well prepared for their position next year?
Definitely, more than anyone.
And now, talking about yourself, did you enjoy your time as student body president?
I definitely enjoyed my time as student body president. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was my favorite thing about high school, and I made 16 new friendships that I will cherish forever.
Now, we understand in your video interviews you asked them about who their favorite teacher was. Now, let's ask you that. Who is your favorite teacher here at South?
Very hard question with so many good teachers at South Meck, but a few that come to mind are Miss Hall, Mr. Folk, and even Mr. Creech, the student government advisor himself, have made me who I am today, I think.
Well, those are some great people, great answers there. Let's go on and send it to Noah's video interviews.
Joy Holly is running for Executive Council Secretary this year. First, I asked her why she wanted to be a part of student government.
Well, I've always been really interested in doing student council. I feel like I could be like a good asset to it. I'm a really hard worker and I really like to get things done.
With so many helpful teachers here at South Meck, I wondered what teacher influenced Joy the most during her time here.
I would say Mrs. Nixon, one of my math teachers. She just always inspires me to, work very hard.
Student government has many events to plan throughout the year. So what specific things does Joy want to implement?
Definitely for homecoming, I would like to see bigger homecoming celebrations, than past years.
Ashley Hand is running for Executive Council Vice President. She is currently on the basketball team and a member of Junior Council.
One reason I want to run for Executive Council is because I believe I have great ideas to better the school.
Ashley was integral to some of the big events planned by student government this year.
Some changes I want to see are I want to involve the students more in activities we do outside and inside of school.
Ashley says that her friends are her biggest inspiration because they're outgoing and work to make other people's lives better.
My favorite part about student government is how everybody just incorporates their different ideas to help make the school better.
Sydney Greason looks to continue her student government career as she runs for Executive Council Vice President. What do you like about student government?
I love student government because it helps me get involved with my school, and I just love being a part of those school-wide projects and helping kids just to find school spirit.
Sydney Greason runs track at South Meck and is excited for the student government election coming up. Are you excited for next year's student government?
I am. I'm very excited.
Sydney has been a part of student government for 2 years now and is excited to be a part of Executive Council next year.
Student government is my passion. I've been on it for 5 years, and I'd like to top it off my senior year being on Executive Council.
Brooke Everson is running for student body president for next year and is very excited for what student government is planning. Why do you like student government? What about it?
I like student government because I feel like it gives the students a chance to partake in what actually goes on in their school. It allows them to voice their opinions, and I think that the students deserve a median and someone who's going to be fair to talk to teachers and administration and give their opinion in a safe way.
Brooke was adamant about student participation, and I asked her what changes she wants to make for next year.
I think exactly that. More student participation, really focusing on what the students want, what they need, enriching their education, but also making it a fun place and something that when they wake up, they strive and say, I want to go to school today. Just make it interesting and make sure that their voices are heard no matter what.
Brooke told me that one of her biggest inspirations at school was Miss Patrick because of how enjoyable and open-minded she was.
I would like to run for executive council because I feel like the students deserve somebody who actually wants to listen to their voice and believes that they should have a strong input, and that's what I plan to give.
Malik Hart is also running for student body president, so I asked him why he wanted to be a part of executive council next year.
Executive Council is the top council. They're the people who orchestrate the student government meetings, and they're the people who look for change. And I find me trying to look for change in South Mecklenburg, I feel as if that's the council that pairs well with me to try to make change in South Meck for everyone.
Being a part of student council this past year, I wondered what Malik's favorite aspect of the class was.
It's fun. It's really fun. The people who are in there, this was my first year doing student government as junior class president, and I literally love everyone who was in there. We're so unique, but somehow we all have we all flow together. We all have similar ideas. We can all function, and our ideas are so opinionated, but we always are able to figure out the different points of view from one another. And I find that really cool. And after that, to actually see the change that or the activities or events that we do come to life, it's so cool. For homecoming, for reverse homecoming, for the March 14th, stuff like that. It was really cool to see it come to life in action.
Malik told me that some of his biggest inspirations at South Meck have been the past 3 student body presidents. What kind of changes do you want to see at South Meck next year?
I want to see more of an inclusion. Everybody here, they have their own separate spheres and their own groups that they affiliate with, and it's cool to a certain degree because you're always bound to find somebody that you may connect with for not just a high school life, but from life on. But after that, we can sit in a classroom all year and might not know the person that you're sitting next to. And I feel as if that's something that really needs to change because the world where we're going, we need more people to bond with one another and have true relationships, because that's how we're going to get stronger and make real change outside of South Mecklenburg High School.
At the end of the interview, I decided to ask both candidates what they felt about their opponent in this race.
Malik Hart, phenomenal man. Super smart, super kind, and he's a great leader. So nothing bad to say. I love him.
Oh, Brooke Everson is literally the best person in the entire world. She is the embodiment of the change I want to see at South.
Well, those were some amazing executive council interviews. Now, Noah, what would you say was your favorite event participating in this year?
I would say my favorite event was the March 14th Sabres Against School Violence rally because it was very spontaneous, it was very last minute, but we were all very determined and cooperative about it. We all wanted to be a part of it. We wanted it to happen. The students liked it, the teachers liked it, and it felt like a good thing to do for what was happening at the time.
Well, that was definitely one of my favorite events as well. Thank you so much, Noah, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
And now we'll be right back after these messages from a few South Meck clubs and organizations. And we'll be back with the student government election results. student government election coverage. We now have the results, and there's actually been a record turnout thus far for the voting.
That's really an exciting thing. We've had several close races today as well, and we're excited to be able to call all of those. We'll start off with the sophomore class council elections. We have, for the general member of sophomore class council, will be Luke Thompson. The secretary of sophomore class council will be Tucker Stillman. The vice president will be Brandon Tucker. And the president of the sophomore class will be Gabby Garcia. Congratulations to all of those students.
I'm sure that they're going to do amazing in their positions. Even though they're just freshmen, I think they're really going to have a great impact.
I agree. I'm excited to see what all of those students can bring to their leadership positions. Gabby Garcia, since she is on the rugby team, we're excited to see what her on-the-field demeanor can do in the classroom setting.
For sure. All right. Next up, we have the junior class council. For our general members, we have Kayla Steverson, Jay Lockhart, and Kayla Webb. The secretary is going to be Allie Ray Dobbins. Vice president of junior council is Amaya Crawford. And finally, the president of junior council is David Brown. Congratulations to all of them. I am surprised that David Brown won. He was definitely a dark horse in the elections. I know he wasn't on the council originally.
That's a very exciting thing. We have a fresh face in there for the junior class council next year. That's very exciting. We also have the senior class council election results in. For general member, we have Madison Trappier. Secretary will be Madison Campbell. The vice president will be Ashley Elam. And the president will be Essence Pauling. Congratulations to those students as well.
I'm also incredibly excited to see how these guys do. I had the pleasure of actually meeting them very previously to this broadcast, and I was amazed by how mature they were.
They're very, very exciting students, and I'm sure they'll be able to do great things next year.
And finally, without further ado, we have the executive council results. So first, for secretary, we have Joy Holly, who ran unopposed, and congratulations to her on that.
The vice presidential race results are in. It was a race between Ashley Hand and Sydney Greason, and the winner of that election will be Ashley Hand. Ashley Hand is the new vice president of the executive council, leaving Sydney Greason as a general member. Congratulations to her as well.
Yeah, I know that the vice president has a lot of new responsibilities as well. I heard that they have to be the president of the inter-club council, so that'll be definitely good for Ashley Hand to get some great experience.
Yes. We're excited to see what they're able to do.
And finally, for the president, the student body president for the 2018 to 2019 school year, it will be Malik Hart, with leaving Brooke Everson as a general member. Congratulations, Malik Hart, on the presidency.
I'm very excited to see what all of those students are able to do working together up underneath Malik Hart next year, and what he's able to do talking to administration and the teachers and everyone for the 2018-2019 school year. Be exciting to see.
Yeah, this has been amazing. Well, this has been Eli.
And I'm Garrett for our student government election coverage for the South Mex 2018-2019 school year.
We've had a lot of fun today, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. Good luck for AP next week, and enjoy prom this weekend.
Thanks to all of our tech people as well as our interviewers, interviewees, and congratulations to all of our winners.
Have a great night, everyone.
devastated by a war fought on a scale never before seen in human history. The countries who won that war promptly formed an intergovernmental organization to mediate disputes and solve world problems. Today, students across the world simulate that organization in collaborative conferences. If you're interested in world events, if you want to learn more about your place in the world, and if you can find them, maybe you can join Model to Win.